Ho ho buddies, welcome to Borderline Games. I'm Gareth and today we're playing Chaos Head. We have just recently acquired a die sword, a D sword, because we know that Fez and Cena, they both have D swords apparently. We've gone to get one of our own, but it's a real crappy sword that doesn't seem to have any magic at all. It doesn't seem like a good plan, if I'm going to be honest. I feel like Takumi has really followed the wrong thread and ended up with the wrong thing. Well, let's find out. But it seems like everything is going to be hell, so let's find out what's going to be hell. Everything after that was hell. Told you. The Town Vanguard didn't do deliveries, so my only option was to look at home myself. Toy or not, my excitement died instantly when I realised I'd have to carry the stupidly long sword right through the heart of Shibuya. But I'd already paid for it, and the clerk adamantly refused to let me return it. This was a really intense form of humiliation roleplay. Having to haul a huge toy like this down a fancy street. Just as I'd come to expect, the DQN couples, dolled-up grills, and whatever other manner of sheep that passed me by all had those exact same mocking smiles. Damn it. Every last one of you should just KYS. I focused intently on keeping my head down for the rest of the way home, having delusions all the way down about swinging my newly bought D-sword at the innocent people in the middle of the road, viciously slaughtering piles and piles of them. What a cool guy. I'll kill you all. Just see if I won't. Only made it back home. I'd finally made it back. I'd started running when I was about halfway home and I didn't stop until I got there, so I was gasping for air by the time I'd reached my base. The ice-cold stares of the pedestrians were killing me. It was somewhat impressive that Cena was able to endure this kind of embarrassment all the time. In a way, I even respected her for it. I could never do what she did. Huh? Suddenly a sound came from a blind spot in the shadow of my base. Was someone there? Freezing in my tracks, I gulped. The pure white smile of the demon girl who called herself Rimi appeared in my mind. Maybe she'd come back. Maybe this time she'd come to kill me for real. What should I do? Should I run? I sensed a presence. The light of the sunset etched someone's shadow onto the ground. One that I knew. Without a shadow of a doubt, had to be female. I immediately reached and readied my D-sword. When I actually tried holding it like that, though, it felt even less reliable than I'd expected it to. Cena's sword had felt incredibly intimidating, and it had this sense of overwhelming pressure that wouldn't allow anyone to get near it. But the D-sword I was holding didn't feel like that at all. Maybe it really was a fake. Could I really fight with something like this? There was no way. Even if I had a real one, I still couldn't do it. Not only that, but I hadn't realised how heavy it was until I first started holding it just now. Maybe I was holding it wrong. In any case, it'd be impossible to even swing it like this. The shadow suddenly wavered. It was approaching me. Who is it? Stay back! I shut my eyes tight and haphazardly swung the sword in front of me. I knew I wouldn't be able to defeat my enemy this way. Even so, I had the faint hope that as long as I had this sword, it'd somehow do something anyway. But I didn't feel it hit anything, nor did my enemy make a sound. I couldn't believe it. Could that single strike of mine have utterly annihilated the demon girl? If so, that'd be the best shit to ever happen to... What's up with the sword, big bro? What? When I opened my eyes, the one standing there wasn't the demon girl, but rather Nanami. She was looking at me with unmistakably judgmental eyes. What? All my strength had disappeared instantly, and I dropped to the ground right where I'd been standing. You don't scare me like that. She was the worst little sister ever. Didn't she know how shitty it was to scare her own older brother like this, let alone enjoy it? Who the hell did she think she was? This was exactly why 3D would always pale in comparison to 2D. You tell him, Takumi. I wasn't trying to scare you. I just came over for your routine survival check like I usually do, but you weren't here. Why did you make me wait here for 30 minutes? Do you realise how worried I was about you? You've made my precious free time disappear into thin air, you know. Jerk. Worried? This bitch was worried about me. As if I'd ever fall for such an obvious lie. So, where'd you run off to? You don't go outside all that often, and you didn't pick up when I called you, either. I'd left my phone behind at the base. It wasn't like anyone was going to call me while I was out, so I'd seen no point in bringing it. The police probably called him. And also, what's with the sword? Did you just come back from buying it? Nanami peered curiously at the sword. Oh, I've got it now. It's some anime toy, right? Man, you really are a total nerd. But if I'm honest, this toy doesn't fit you at all. Just a second ago, you had all your shoulders all squared as you held it up. Pfft, I'm gonna crack up just thinking about it. Ignoring Nanami, I undid the lock on the door to the container house and made to go inside. Wait, don't ignore me. Go home. If you just come to check if I was alive, then she got what she wanted, and she no longer had any reason to be here. She was always making fun of me, and every time she came over, she'd do nothing but complain. If she was really that put off by being here, then she didn't have to come at all. It was annoying anyway. It'd be no skin off my back if she stopped. Hey, I came all the way out here to check up on you, so could you at least be a little grateful? I even brought a present for you and everything. Her voice was whiny as could be, and she pursed her lips. A present? Yep, Mum told me to bring it. Here. Nanami handed me a bag of clementines. There were about 10 of them, wrapped up in red netting. That's sweet. Making sure you got vitamin C. Weird, something's fishy here. I'd eat clementines if they were right in front of me, but they weren't my favourite food or anything. On that note, I could use a quick break, so how about I sit down and eat some with you? Go home. What the heck? I brought you a present and I'm offering to eat it with you. Aren't you happy? Because you should be. What exactly about eating clementines with Nanami was supposed to make me feel happy at all? And besides, it was obvious that she'd come... she wanted to eat clementines. And that was the whole reason why she'd come here. She'd been a fat ass ever since we were little, often stealing my portion to add to hers. I couldn't count the amount of times we fought over that. Nanami, unable to take a hint, waltzed right on into the base. I gave up and followed her in after. I followed in after her. Just say followed her. You have any tea? I'd like something nice and warm. Why the hell would I have tea? I only drink cola and nothing else. Nanami sat down on the sofa and grabbed a clementine. Sighing, I set down the D-sword so it'd lean against my computer desk. I had no reason to continue carrying the bangle in my pocket, so I just chucked it somewhere behind me. Huh, what's that? Quickly spotting the bangle I'd thrown on the floor, Nanami went to pick it up. Oh. Oh, what a cute little bangle. Did you buy this too? Crazy to think that you've actually got good taste sometimes. Cute? How? The thing was nothing more than a piece of junk you'd get for 500 yen at worst. I couldn't believe how bad Nanami's taste was. Ignoring her once again, I nabbed one of the clementines and sat in front of my PC. Hey, why are you throwing this away? Because I don't want it. Okay then, I'll take it off your hands. What? What's the problem? You're gonna get rid of it anyway. Come on, you could at least act like a brother once in a while and give your sister a present. Consider this your first step. You call it a present, but it's just something I don't want that you suddenly decided to appropriate. Fine. Then just take it. Really? Yay! Literal walking PMS. As soon as she'd gotten my approval, she put the bangle on her wrist. Takes a real cheap whore. Jesus Christ! to get this excited over such a cheap piece of junk. So, what do you think? Does it look good on me? Not even close. Is that so? You jerk. It was supposed to be a present, so why was she treating me like this? Little sisters weren't supposed to call their brothers mean names. What were they teaching girls nowadays? Go play 100 Eroge this instant. Jerk! She was grinning from ear to ear. I, meanwhile, was getting extremely pissed off. I really like it, so I'm not going to give it back anymore. Now that I think about it, I think this is the first time I've ever gotten a present from you. Well, I have now. Oh, well, I have now, so I'll take real good care of it. As if I cared. No one asked you to take care of it. I didn't even get it for you in the first place. If that's all you wanted, then go home. I don't have time for this, so stop bothering me. The moment I said that, Nanami pursed her lips. You don't have to say it all mean like that. Besides, we haven't even eaten the clementines yet, and you haven't got me any tea either. I don't have any goddamn tea for you to drink. Why did you say it like that? Gah. Nanami glared at me intently, hands on her hips. Before long, her eyes started welling up, and then... Fine, if I'm that much of a bother, then I'll just leave. Oh good, make it quick. Ugh. You big jerk, get Clementine skin in your eyes and go blind forever. And I'm not going to give back the bangle either. Jerk! Yelling in a migraine-inducing voice that resounded throughout the entire room, Nanami grabbed her bag and ran out with insane speed. Oh, thank God. It was finally over. Hanging out with Nanami always took everything out of me. Why did she insist on coming here every week, when I'd made it very clear I was sick of it? Read the room, for fuck's sake. Oh. Okay. The first smelters again. The first smelters concluded with results that exceeded our expectations. There are only minor discrepancies between the GE rate increase and our initial calculations. And our ventures into biorhythm control proceeding smoothly as well? Shibuya's GE rate, while it is much higher than those found in other areas, proves to be quite stable. Therefore, intentionally manipulating it is a simple matter, and forcing a sudden increase in the biorhythms of Shibuya's inhabitants would be equally trivial. Please consult the report containing the results of the experiment. I believe you will find the fruits of your labour, our labour, to be quite acceptable. It's only natural that even scum like you would produce such results. We're supplying you with a large sum of money and incredible human resources after all. I'm fully aware of how effective it is. The Church's followers have multiplied considerably over the past few months alone. What is happening? And with that, Project Noah shall now advance to its next stage. Are we in agreement? What plan do you have in mind for its code samples? While you may have obtained the samples of 3 people, you have yet to reach your quota, or reach our quota. Indeed, it'll prove most difficult to achieve such numerical values if we do not have 5 samples at minimum. We're currently gathering sample carriers. After such is achieved, all that remains will be extraction. Then we shall leave it in your hands. May the divine light save you. Continue your proceedings with great caution. Yes, I shall do my utmost. Well, that really threw me. What is this? Nazumi? I'm gonna have to start making notes. It was a weird cut to. I should probably go to bed. Stifling a yawn, I looked at the clock on my PC. It was 5 AM. I'd spent another entire day grinding on ESO, but no monsters end up dropping the rare item I was looking for. I'd been binging it for about 8 hours straight, but still no luck. Meh. That happened to me all the time, though. I glanced over at the side of my computer desk. The D-sword I bought yesterday was still leaning against it. I'd set it there within reach of me so I could grab it at any moment. Speaking of the sword, the damn thing hadn't glowed at all. I'd been hoping that it had transformed into some new badass form like the one Cena had, but I'd been similarly out of luck there too. On my monitor, Grimm's avatar had just leveled up. My Neidhart was already max level, so he wouldn't go any higher. It's probably about time to make a new character. My third after Lysolot. I thought to myself as I rubbed my sleepy eyes. EXP sure was something. It was a well-known concept in RPGs, but I figured EXP existed in real life too. Back when I'd first started playing ESO, I'd been a total nobody who didn't know right from left, but now I was known far and wide as Lightning Fast Neidhart, the most powerful player in Baselard. Let's say the person controlling me had lost a chunk of EXP for some reason or another. If that had happened, then it would make complete sense why I'd forgotten things. That could also be where the discrepancies in my memory had come from. Things like Shogun and the Demon Girl. Before a chunk of my EXP got wiped, maybe it was perfectly normal for me, the person controlling me, to post in chat rooms under the handle Shogun, and for me to live like a complete normie with the Demon Girl. No, that just wasn't possible. But if it was possible, then maybe I used to possess an incredible power that would allow me to oppose the Demon Girl. Was I the only person who thought like this? I didn't really feel like it was a particularly weird way of thinking, or thing to say, or think. Human beings could only really make judgments based on their own sense of values, that they'd come up with themselves. So maybe it wasn't just me living my day-to-day life, making the wrong decisions, but everyone in the entire world. Back when I was little, I'd gone to the dentist, and I remembered them telling me, "You did a good job putting up with that much pain. You were a very good patient." At the time, I thought I was amazing for making it through to the end, and I felt really proud of myself. Thinking back on it now, though, that comment was probably based on the degree of pain felt compared to the progression of the cavity. But even if the level of pain was the same, there'd be people that could bear the pain, and there'd be people who couldn't. In other words, I came to realise that how someone recognised and felt such sensations completely depended on the person. Childbirth, for example. I'd often seen on the internet that women could endure the pain of it, but it would be completely impossible for men. Another example would be marathon runners. Maybe they excelled not because of their physical strength, but because of their ability to endure pain. There were also sadists and masochists. If there were people that found pleasure in being hurt, there'd also be people that derived pleasure from hurting others. In other words, I believe that the way people felt things, along with their ability to handle pain and suffering, all varied from person to person. Perhaps the level of pain in the toothaches and headaches I got from time to time actually far surpassed the limits of pain an ordinary person could take. And if that were true, then perhaps if I'd passed the same pain on to someone else, the sheer agony would cause them to go into shock and die. The conclusion I ended up coming to as a result of this line of thinking was more or less a self-righteous delusion that perhaps I was special. Special? Who am I kidding? Although I denied it, I was sure that every person had delusions like this. Every man longs to be the strongest in the world. Every human being wants to think that they're special, that they're the chosen one. We all want to think that a dramatic story full of twists and turns like the ones you find in TV and movies is waiting for us in the future. The so-called desire to be a hero, or to be blunt, textbook, tuna-bio shit. Of course, even I had those kind of desires. It could very well be my destiny to triumph over the demon girl. But if that really was my destiny, and I had to make it come true, I'd need a number of conditions to be met first. At the very least, I absolutely needed the ability to use cheats, be it cheat codes for special attacks or maybe even God mode of some kind. I didn't want to deal with any pain or fear. If I couldn't cheat in some way, or in other words, if I was supposed to achieve that with my own power, there was no way I'd be able to do it. Which was why, if the person controlling me had lost all of my experience, that'd be a huge blow to me. A super effective one. It was super effective. Fade to black. Are we gonna see her in school? The demon girl. I just barely got to school on time. It probably wasn't the best idea to stay up playing Vidya until early in the morning on a school night. I had to run in order to make it on time. When I got to the classroom door, I stopped and took deep breaths to try and catch my breath. I couldn't act in a way that would make me stand out to my classmates. For me, even something like being late would be fatal. If the DQN's eyes all zeroed in on me, my life would be over. I slowly made my way into the classroom, keeping my head down. I couldn't let myself make eye contact with anyone. Of course, I didn't have a mindless greeting like "good morning" either. Trying to make my presence as undetectable as possible, I made myself invisible and turned toward my seat. That was how I always did things. And today was no different. I made it to my seat without any issue and sat down. Soon after, I laid my head and arms face down on my desk, and from there, I was safe until homeroom started. But I only got to relax for a split second before someone's hand clapped against my back. Here he is. Yo, Taku, you've come to school 3 times this week, haven't you? Really getting serious now, huh? Masumi-kun again, even though he was really getting on my nerves. I'd feel bad if I ignored him, so I started to reluctantly raise my head, only to hesitate. Was this Masumi-kun? The real one? 2 days ago, I'd done what the demon girl told me to do, and called him. When I'd talked to him, he'd been very clearly acting strange. I mean, he told me that Rimi was our classmate, as if it was the most obvious thing in the world, which I hadn't expected at all. Maybe the demon girl had brainwashed him, or maybe it was something else. Maybe the person controlling him had been switched out. Hello? You out cold already? An electronic sound suddenly rang through the classroom. I felt a faint vibration near my chest. It was my cell phone. Shit, now of all times. What kind of asshole would call at a time like this? And not only was my phone going off, but even though I was sure I'd set it to vibrate, the ringtone was going off too. I guess I must have messed up the settings. Oh, Taku, your phone's ringing. Yes, I know, goddammit. Should I just answer it? But if I did that, Masumi-kun would know that I was faking being asleep. Besides, I didn't feel like talking on the phone. But also, if I didn't pick it up, it would annoy the rest of the class, and considering how it was ringing loudly throughout the classroom, it had to be doing that already. I wasn't supposed to stand out. This was really, really bad. Hello? You're not going to pick it up? You're actually asleep? Damn it, while I'd been freaking out over what to do, I'd already lost my chance. I couldn't move now. The sound and vibration stopped. The call must have gone to voicemail. I let out a sigh of relief, soft enough that Masumi-kun wouldn't be able to hear it. It was definitely the right call for me to have figured out how to use the voicemail function. Hey Taku, who was it on the other end, Don't tell me, was it a chick? Was it the glasses chick that you went home with not too long ago? I'm right, aren't I? Damn it, you're so annoying. I just wanted him to stop bothering me. That phone call had already made me stand out way too much. Had Masumi-kun always been this persistent? Though he'd always been way too friendly with me, I thought he at least had the capacity to take a hint. Oh, come on. Oh, come on, knock it off already. I heard... Oh. It's not Masumi-kun that was making that, who was talking just then. A voice from right next to Masumi-kun. Masumi-kun. Leave him be, Daichin. He seems real tired for some reason, so just lay off for today. She was here in my classroom, like it was the most normal thing in the world. Oh, come on, he was probably just gaming for way too long last night. You're way too soft on him. You're just mad because I'm not nice to you. And why would I, considering how you act around women? You're the enemy of all of us, I swear. They're having a friendly conversation like it was the most normal thing in the world. She was blending in like it was the most normal thing in the world. I was too scared to look up. I didn't want to acknowledge that she was there. Meh. Even if you aren't the nicest to me, I've got loads of chicks that'll sub in for you. So ha! Are you serious right now? I've been telling you over and over that you should stop saying things like that. Your girlfriend's gonna cry if she hears you. Not that I know who your current girlfriend is. Oh, there's the bell. Here comes the teacher. Had the demon girl really been my classmate all along? No, there was no way. She hasn't been here 2 days ago. Or, at the very least, the only person that had spoken to me that day was Masumi-kun. I hadn't gone to the school yesterday, so I wasn't sure about that one. But when I came today, she was here. How? How had she managed to worm her way in? Everyone took their seats once the sound of the bell announced the start of homeroom. Sensing that, I looked up cautiously. I surveyed the room with just my eyes. I wanted the voice from earlier to have just been an illusion. In order to prove that to myself, I needed to make sure that the girl was nowhere to be found in the classroom. I didn't see her. I didn't see anything that even remotely resembled her. Did that mean she really was a hallucination? My seat was in the 5th row, from the front. There were 9 rows in total. She wasn't in any of the rows in front of me, which meant she was behind me. But I couldn't turn around. I couldn't allow myself to stand out. Damn it, this was so frustrating. Was she really here in this classroom or not? I didn't feel chills on the back of my neck. No one was looking at me. I didn't feel a gaze. Was she here or not here? Which was it? Still staring at the surface of the desk, I tried to detect her by just her presence alone. And right as I tried, I heard my homeroom teacher enter the classroom. I didn't remember the teacher's name. I had a feeling that it was Tsukaji or Tsukada, or at least something like that. He was a PE teacher that had graduated from an athletic college, and he was a total musclehead. However, he didn't really act like it, nor did he employ corporal punishment like one might expect him to. If anything, he was the type of teacher that knew how to take a joke. When was corporal punishment outlawed in Japan? Surely not in 2008. Before then, surely. For some reason, the class all started murmuring about something, but right now I was occupied with trying to detect the demon girl. Did I really expect to be able to sense her by presence alone? This wasn't some manga. Was I an idiot? Was I a damn fool? Alright, listen up everyone. From today onward, we've got a new transfer student. My homeroom teacher mumbled back to the class. Oh, so that was why the room was so noisy. Go on, Arahara. Give everyone a nice hello. I didn't hear the supposed transfer student say anything. Was there really one here? I glanced toward the door. Oh. Okay, so we're going to do... Last time we did horny, so then we're going to do red, right? And sure enough, there was someone there. So now it's deadly. She was extremely petite. Possibly even more so than Nanami. She looked fairly timid, emulating that Mo gets bullied at the time, all the time, at the time, archetype. If I had to choose, she was probably around mid-tier when it came to 3D girls for some reason. Oh, for some reason she was looking down at the floor, her eyes filled with tears. Aww. For now, I should forget about the undersized transfer student, and what really mattered was Remy. Something needed to be done about her. Huh? A voice rang out from the back of the classroom. It was Remy. What did she want? Kazuo-chan, you transferred. Kazuo-chan? Who was that? Who the hell was Remy talking to? What's this, Sakahata? You already friends with Arihara? Yep, that's right. The conversation just kept on going, leaving me in the dust. Dazed and confused, I found myself unable to think straight. Hehehe. The transfer student wore an innocent smile. I followed you here. I wanted to come too. Oh really? Guess you aren't afraid to be spontaneous, huh? What the? Why were the two of them talking so friendly-like? Don't tell me they were friends or something. Oh god, could the transfer student be one of the demon girl's underlings? Frozen in place, I could do nothing but listen as the two continued their carefree conversation. Nice to see you, Remy-san. Yeah, same here. We're gonna have fun from now on, right? Yep. I hope we have lots and lots of fun. Right. Fun. Fun! Hey. Don't you think so? Don't you? Don't you? Nishijo Takumi? Oh, looks like she's a little nervous. Alright, I'll take her off the hot seat. The homeroom teacher's voice brought me back to my senses. The transfer student was sheepish as usual, but uttering so much, not uttering so much as a peep. Words could not express how thankful I was that it had all been a delusion. This is Arihara Kazuo, everyone. I hope you'll all welcome her as a new member of the class. Arihara, your desk is over there in the back. Go ahead and take a seat. Transfer student made her way back to the back without saying a word, keeping her head low to the ground. Her seat was 4 rows behind mine. Should I pretend to watch her so I could catch a glimpse of the people behind me? Problem was that I drew a lot of unwanted attention to myself. I didn't want any DQNs trying to pick a fight, or don't go staring at her just because she's cute or some BS like that. I was at a loss for what to do. Should I look now, or should I wait until class is over? My head still firmly pressed against my desk, I squeezed my fist tightly. Forget it. I was a coward. Just the thought that if I turned around my eyes would meet with the girls sent shivers down my spine. With that girls. Hey, you over there. Huh? What's going on here? Are you a baddie? If you are, then Kuzupi's A-okay with killing you. The transfer student walked right by my seat. Taken aback, I glanced at her face. Our eyes met, only for her to immediately avert her gaze and continue walking. What was that voice? No doubt it'd just been another one of my delusions. I've been feeling overwhelmed by them lately, almost as if reality and delusion were blending together. Still lacking the courage to turn around, my body stiffened even further, squeezing inward in my seat. I tried to focus on staying completely still, desperately trying to avoid drawing Remy's attention. Whew. All my new fears and doubts zoomed through my mind at 1,000,000 kilometers an hour, and before I knew it, homeroom had ended. What's that I smell? An ending of Borderline Games? That's a weird way to end it. Yeah, we're going to end it there. That's enough time for an episode. I'm going to continue to make this awkward as possible. Really weird. So, is Remy actually real or not? And how much of this is a delusion? I feel like maybe there's delusions happening outside of our definitive delusions, if you get me. So I feel like there's maybe some lines of text that aren't real, maybe? And maybe there's some... maybe I need to pay more attention to my delusions, because there might be some clues as to what's actually happening. But we'll find out next time on Borderline Games. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Chaos Head, and I will see you next time. Have a good evening. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.